All right, when you get your box in, ready to install, you want to make sure that your logo is facing up and in the direction of your opening. Okay, so once you get your product unboxed, it'll look like this, and you're getting ready to install it. Again, this is the top of the door and it's facing the opening that it's going to go in. And there's a top piece of trim that after the installation gets put in there. There's dowel holes here, and the crown molding will have dowels in it. Then you just slip it into those holes, and that's where it sets. So from here, the installers are getting ready to slide it in the opening, and then they true it up like it's a normal door and fasten it up. So that's what's next. Okay, so if your door comes with electronic strike, you need to stand this up in the opening, slide it in as it's going to be installed, trace this jamb onto the rough opening of the 2x4 there, and then you need to chisel the back of that out about 3/4 of an inch for the locking body, which sticks past this jamb so it fits in there. So, and that's something that you're going to install after the door is installed. Perfect. All right. Well.
I stayed square.
Now we've got 3 fasteners, one about 6 inches down, one about 6 inches up, and one in the center. We're going to do the exact same thing on this side and check it again. Right now everything looks perfectly full. So as he puts the fastener into the jamb into the wall, we got to make sure that doesn't squeeze the jamb and move the door out of alignment. So after you have a couple screws in there, the top, bottom, and center, and then we want to double check it and make sure that we didn't move the door as we were fastening. So the next thing you do after you have it all fastened down, you check it with your level. Just make sure that your door opens and shuts properly. On that trim, make sure it's all good, it looks perfect. All right. You also want to make sure if you have a top piece already on there that it's nice and even across. Because if your door is perfectly level, you may still need to adjust that just to make sure the square and level equals out. Square of the door put in the wall and the level of the trim itself. So it looks good. That looks good. We can go on to the next step. Okay, on the side of your bookcase, you're going to have a plunger. This unit is installed at the shop. It's not perfectly set up or aligned, so after your latch and your locking system set up, you may have to loosen these bolts up a little bit. They're square tips, I believe, so you loosen them up a little bit and you can move this in or out to make a better connection. You don't want a lot of back tension with your latch. So it opens and shuts freely, but here's the adjustments for that, and make sure that you don't over tighten them either. So one of the best things about our door system is that the trim comes already attached to the jamb. Unlike a lot of our competitors, their trim comes separately, so after you get the jambs installed, they have to fasten with big holes through to the jamb to fasten their trim. We have everything done at our shop. So you don't have to do anything like that. So like you saw earlier, just take it out of the box and slide it in the opening. Now we do have to do the crown molding, which we'll show you how to do next if you order crown molding for your door. So again, if your door comes with crown molding at the top, it'll look just like this. You'll want to unpackage your crown molding, and you'll have dowels right here like that. Now we suggest putting a little dab of wood glue across the top of that and in those holes, but just to show you how this goes, those dowels will align right up in those holes. So there's no measuring or anything like that. It may take a couple little whacks. There we go. There we go. So we make it easy here at Hideaway Doors, don't we? Okay, so after you get that installed like that, we make it a lot easier that we do all that work in shop, so you don't have to put any big nails through there. If you had trim that you installed yourself, then you'd have to shoot nails in there and you'd have big holes to fill and stuff like that. Here we have a nice, beautiful finish that was done in factory. We don't have any nails to fill. It's all attached to the frame and to the top. So that's the way it's going to look when it's done. Okay, so the last step after you have everything installed, everything trued up and fastened down, the last step is to install your ramp. On this particular door, there's security wires and stuff that another team has to come in and hook up before we can do all this. So we're just going to tell you that this is the slot that's cut out in factory. So you peel the back of the ramp off and put it here. The small section will go to the back on an in-swing door, to the front on an out-swing door. And then following the directions on our website for the latch location here. Now, a lot of people skip this step, and this is absolutely necessary because that latch not only holds the door shut, even if you have locks, that also takes some of the weight of the cabinet and your, whatever you put on the shelves. It holds that weight while the door's stagnant and not moving. So it's absolutely necessary that you follow that step and put that mechanical latch on the door after your install is done. So now that we have the installation completed, on the Alpha doors, there's one more step to make the Alpha door a super secret door. If you look down here, here's the frame, bottom frame of the door, and here's the drywall. So you want to just take some drywall tape and drywall mud and put a couple coats on that, sand it off, and that'll help blend the bottom of the door with the wall. Then once you paint the wall, you'll paint straight across the bottom part here. And then after your flooring's installed, they're going to come back and put baseboard across here. Okay, so that'll finish that all off and make it look like an inset bookcase is the visual that we're looking for with the Alpha door. So that's all you have to do is tape and mud the seams here on both sides, and then paint the whole bottom the same color of the wall, and that helps it blend in. All right, that wraps it up for today. Another episode of Behind Closed Doors. Again, if you like and share this, that'll really help us with our audience. This was another perfect build, simple and easy, and we appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much. Have a great day.